First of all, what's your name? Just Deborah?
Her name is Kant, yeah.
Okay. And when did you start doing Jodie's class?
Probably May or June this year.
Okay, and why did you decide to join?
Because I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I guess that's pretty simple. I'd heard about them through someone, and I thought, this sounds really good. Here's an opportunity.
Okay, and what was your first meeting like?
Actually, it was really nice, very comfortable. Everyone was friendly, warm, inviting, non-judgmental, different sizes, different age groups, different race. I mean, not everybody looked, well, actually, nobody else was American, actually. But I liked the fact that it was a mix of everyone, and they were quite welcoming.
And did you have a certain goal in mind when you joined, or did you talk about goals once you got to your first meeting?
Given my style, I talk about everything all the time anyway, so I'm sure goals were in and amongst everything. My goal at the time was to find a group where I could attend, where I feel comfortable, where there would be people who would understand, not going to a group. I don't want to mention any other groups, but there was one group in particular that's lovely, but all they do is focus on food. And if that were my only issue, then I'd have it under control. But I don't. And food is not my only issue. It's emotions, it's the addiction, it's all of the above.
And are those additional things addressed within the group?
You bet they are. It's great.
And is there like a network? Do you make friends with people, buddy up with people that are there?
You can do. I'd say I haven't a whole lot. I'm in touch with Jodie and with Denise as well. People are very nice and friendly. I think sometimes I get a little uncomfortable myself. There's no reflection of anyone there in the group whatsoever. I need to realize that I can reach out. And part of my disease with the compulsive overeating is isolation. So it's something I'm working on.
And do you have a set amount of weight that you'd like to lose?
Oh, gosh, of course. I'd like to lose 7 stone. I was at tops 25 and a half. And I'd say, not last May, of course, but at my worst a few summers ago. I should say highest, not worst. It implies some other issues. And I'd like to lose another 7 stone. I would feel healthier. I'd feel happier. I'd feel more normal, whatever that is.
And is weight something that you've struggled with throughout your whole lifetime, or is it something that's happened more recently?
You'd think I'd know better. I've been dealing with this for probably getting towards 50 years. I'm approaching my late 50s. And I remember at 9 years old being chubby, which was supposed to be a nice term at the time. But I've struggled up and down. I think I've been the proper weight 3 times in my life, each time lasting for a week.
And what is it, do you think, that triggers your overeating?
And I want to be funny and say oxygen. And that, in truth, while I joke about it, that's just about the truth, anything. I find that my food addiction comes out when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm blue, when I'm calm, when I'm bored, when I'm busy. It just, that's why I say oxygen. It's just whatever it is can, I'll say, make me eat loosely, as if blaming it on the outside and external, which is often what I do. The outside and external is a trigger for me.
And what about your eating plan now? What kind of eating plan, what differences have you made now to what you've done in the past?
I have found that I feel awful on sugar. Caffeine I avoid anyway for other reasons, but I know for a fact from reading that does affect one's blood sugar levels. I find that when I'm not eating wheat, I feel much better. Not only not bloated, I just feel garbagey when I eat wheat products. I've never been diagnosed as having an issue with it or an allergy as such. I just can say that I feel better, and with the few people with whom I've discussed that, they say the same thing. When I cut out flour, I start to feel better.
And what does the future hold for you, do you think?
I'd say probably more weight loss, but not just the weight loss. I'm embarrassed to admit that is a big issue for me. But I'd like to encompass that and say it's not just the weight, it's being healthier in all ways, more active, getting out of my isolation and socializing more and getting a life, really.
Is there anything that you found that you really enjoy, exercise-wise, that you hadn't probably tried in the past?
There's nothing specific. I'd like things like horseback riding and things like that, but a lot of the things that I like, unfortunately, are expensive. And being unemployed, as many of us are, I need to stick to something that's less expensive. in this case, walking. There's so many beautiful places in this country, absolutely gorgeous, walking along the canal and feeding the ducks, the bread that I'm not eating, things like that. And it's absolutely wonderful to go out and walk, fresh air. That actually makes me feel more positive, more upbeat. I'm out of the house and away from the kitchen.
And can't fail to notice your American accent. How long have you been over here?
Just 5 years, actually.
What is the main difference, do you think, between our attitudes to the female body and food in America and the female body and food over here?
Oh, gosh, I don't think we have an hour, do we? I lived in Southern California for over 20 years, and near Los Angeles, near the entertainment capital of the world, possibly, at least in my opinion, being American. Skinny, 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 augment this part, undo this part. It's great to want to look your best and feel your best. The difficulty for me was the plasticity of everything, in my opinion at the time. In other parts of the U.S. where I've lived, it's not as strong, but in Southern California, it's 20 years old, blonde, big-breasted, small hips. And that's an ideal that very few of us not only can live up to, but can afford to go and do ourselves. I think generally it's healthier over here because people are more active. They'll walk. They're not afraid. My joke has been, and it feels quite true, in the States, you get into your car to drive a 3-minute walk to go to a drive-thru like McDonald's or Taco Time or Taco Bell, all greasy, high food, primarily greasy and unhealthy foods. And you go there, you drive through, and you eat it in your car on the way home or you bring it home. You're not walking anywhere. I'm stereotyping and exaggerating, of course. What scares me is I see that happening here. In the 5 years I've been here, more fattening foods, bigger people. I'm not judging them as being bad. I'm judging in the sense of, oh, my God, it's the American unhealthiness that's coming over, and that scares me for the British people.
Anything else that you'd like to add that you think is important?
Gosh, there's just quite a few groups out there I think are good. I think Hope is one that Jody talked about in his group. There's also Overeaters Anonymous. I can give that a small plug. It's a group based on the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous for anyone who might be familiar. I am highly addicted to food. I've been trying to form an OA group locally in the Hinckley area. We're actually working on getting a group going. And I think that in conjunction with Jody's group would be perfect because the OA deals with the non-food and exercise. That's something you need to get somewhere else outside the group. But you find people like you do in Jody's group that understand where you're coming from, that know what it's like to be 20, 30 stone, although for those who only have a half a stone, it can be as debilitating to them emotionally and psychologically as for someone like myself who finally at 25 and a half stone said I've had enough. But I think it's a good thing, and I'm really appreciative that you're letting us have a